The Fourth Republican Constitution of Ghana provides in unambiguous terms under Article 25 that all persons shall have the right to equal educational opportunities and facilities. Inexplicably, however, there are thousands of children who are missing this right, particularly in northern Ghana. They are girls, migrant children, and children suffering from disability.
Society sees you, a blind person, as somebody who doesn't even think, because they see that you cannot see. So what do you know?
You can teach a fowl. You can teach a dog. Why do you think that you cannot teach a human being? No matter how handicapped these children are, in terms of brains, they are still better than a fowl.
So, baby, you know what in school what I say on the The district assembly themselves consider these people as settlers. There are issues around whether the common fund is even supposed to be applied to the benefit of such people.
One of the basic guarantees for education is enshrined right in our constitution that every child of school-going age must benefit from education. It classifies education as a right.
In January 2012, ProNet North, with funding from STAR-Ghana, started a Partnering for Inclusive Education in Northern Ghana project known as Pieng. It was introduced in the Bayuor district in the Upper West region and in Kranza North district in the Bunahafa region. The purpose was to promote systemic change in basic education at the community and district levels, increase retention, transition, and performance for girls, migrant children, and children with disabilities.
Pieng was carved out from our experiences from other projects, basically to look at how we would ensure that's universal access to education for all children in a district where we thought was quite unique. Unique in the sense that we saw that a lot of people from northern Ghana migrating into the Brong-Ahafo region most of them end up in that district in particular. So we wanted to find out for all these people that migrate there, settle there, sometimes they come back home, sometimes they don't come back. But what is the education pattern in their new settlements? Are children benefiting from education? If not, what can be done to ensure that these children also enjoy their right to be in school?
The evidence is there that in these settler communities, especially down south, education is not given a priority.
Information regarding the education of migrant children, particularly in the Kranza North district, is virtually non-existent. Visiting some communities and interacting with parents reveals to one how deep the challenge is. But with the implementation of Pieng, communities in the beneficiary districts are now beginning to push in their own small way the agenda of their children's education.
For some of the communities, there were no schools at all. Where they say there is a school, probably it's just one structure, one classroom that has been provided probably from the community's own efforts. And so they will tell you, oh, this school is from primary 1 to 6, but you go and find all the children clumped into one classroom. And so for us, we saw that, no, this is not what we can call a school. And so for such communities, we supported and stood on grounds with parents that you must start something on your own before somebody can come to help you.
Yeah, you're number one, Kunsu number 1 and number 2. The number 2, Nuswo Kasi be pa da ho. Okay, Yana Yedi Hondi, Eddie Puntu Ajumano, Eddie Crow, Sabri, Aman Korano to me for her, a Bosco.
The good news is that just through our engagement with the communities and the empowerment processes, communities themselves have put up some structures. They are not the best, but they are a good place to begin from.
Available data from the Ghana Education Service offices in both Kranza North and Bayuor West districts indicates that out of every 10 children admitted into primary 1, 6 are girls. The sad thing, however, is that only 3 out of the 6 have the chance of completing their basic education. This is largely due to sociocultural practices. Under the Pieng project, a number of activities, including girls' clubs, have been initiated to promote enrollment and retention of girls in school.
The club was formed to enable the girl child go through their education with ease and some kind of happiness.
Before we reopen school, we hear that about 4 girls, 6 girls are pregnant and they are in the house, they are not coming back to school. So it was really a problem. But after creating the club, we organized a series of activities that have really given them a lot of education on these things, teenage pregnancy and then abortion and the rest. So this time I can say it keeps the girls in school.
I catch almost say, no more say me myself, or move on to a migrant because I'm warm. So Muslim school. Senia, ye decay a bear. Sano Muslim run on can show me and move you say. Yet it will be. No waiting back anymore.
The fact that the girl is a member of the girls' club gives her other opportunities, other exposures beyond the remits of her community. For those girls who are members of the club, and we encourage as many of the teenage girls as possible to be members of the clubs. And so they got to learn things about their own development, things about personal hygiene, things about how to take care of themselves. These are very soft topics that parents are unable to discuss with their young girls. But the girls' clubs offer the girls the opportunity to get to know all of these things.
In addition to these girls' clubs, bylaws have also been developed by traditional authorities and opinion leaders with the aim of protecting the rights of school children, particularly girls, from all practices that tend to impede their education.
Many girls are eloped in this district, but when we started this idea of making this bylaw, I don't know what happened. It went into ears of people that the people are now upward. They want to enforce laws on anybody who want to elope a school girl.
The greatest strength for us is that these are bylaws that came from communities themselves. And so the issue of enforcement is not something that will require any external people to come and do, which sometimes is problematic.
Another unique but very important component of Pieng is the promotion of education of children with disabilities. In the last 3 years, many barriers which have prevented these children from accessing education have been removed. However, there is still more work to be done if the dream of getting every child with disability in school is to be realized.
The factors accountable to that is mainly poverty and ignorance. I will say poverty because many parents do not have the means to send their children to school, even though they are aware that children with disabilities can go to school and do better. Some are willing, but no money. Others, I say ignorance, because they have the money. They can send the child to school, but they feel that, after all, if you are a person with disability, what can you do?
You go out and people ask you, when are the children going to finish school? What good will come out of such people? So when they ask you such questions, you feel depressed in a way.
The attitude of even the parents toward the children is not the best. So that does not even encourage the children to learn. And the parents treat their own children like second-rate human beings. So assuming he has about 6 children or 5 children, you say, oh, let me send the normal children to school before sending these ones to school. So the attitude of the parents first is a problem.
I remember a parent told us her son was not speaking, but he could hear. So she brought the child. Now the boy talks. But the problem is that he didn't have people to communicate with. So how do you talk when you don't have anything to say and don't have anybody to talk to? But once he joined his colleagues, he was forced to speak. One will make him angry or beat him, and he wants to report. So if you just come and you are pointing the finger, I'll ask you, what is it? You are forced with time to talk. Who beat you? You must mention the name. So with time, he himself automatically will start talking. Not because we have injected him with any special medicine or anything. No, the environment will help him do it.
It is an undeniable fact that despite some challenges, Pieng have certainly made gains both in Kranza North and Wa West districts.
If you do a clear analysis of the number of children that have been enrolled in Wa School for the Blind and Wa School for the Deaf for the past 3-4 years, you would see a great number of them coming from Wa West and Jirapa districts. And that is because ProNet has done a lot of work in these two districts in particular to whip up the interest and the awareness of parents to realize that, oh no, if I have a disabled child, that child also has a potential.
We've been able to reveal, even to the assembly itself, just the sheer magnitude of communities that are within their area that have been neglected over the years.
With the bylaws at the community level, we have now a lot of them being punctual. Teenage pregnancy, more or less, have reduced in the schools. And then you could also see the performance of the girls coming up.
The greatest achievement is the community empowerment. Community empowerment in terms of the engagement we have with the community leaders, the women's leaders, the girls' clubs, also the district level, the DCE, the district education office, the teachers themselves. Even the involvement of the media, because under the Pieng project, the media has played an invaluable role in terms of highlighting almost every event that we have undertaken.
As the 3-year project comes to an end, what needs to be done to ensure that the gains of Pieng are sustained?
To ensure that the ideas behind Pieng is carried on, we will never need to do more than just the advocacy that we have done.
ProNet and STAR-Ghana, a person more boy, Emma, your guest clapping, a set to Kaima, or more, Mumma School, or Mosabeba, Emma, clapping and legit.
As we gradually roll to the end of this project, we have not achieved all, and we cannot pretend to have achieved everything. But I'm confident that we have laid a foundation for all other development actors and the government itself to begin to take action if indeed we want education to be what it should be.
We must also engage those entities and agencies to ensure that we improve the living conditions of communities, especially in northern Ghana.
Education, it is said, is a bedrock of development, and that is a pointed statement to key stakeholders in the educational sector. Every child of school-going age must have access to educational infrastructure with qualified teachers. This will give real meaning to Ghana's constitution, which guarantees free, compulsory, basic education to every child.